It's been 10 years since we've had a new movie in the Friday the 13th franchise. That is the longest time in between movies since the 8-year gap in between Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X, and it sadly looks like we won't be having another movie for quite some time. But why is that? Jason Voorhees is one of the most iconic slashers of all time, and with 12 movies, you would think there would be more room to tell more stories in this franchise. Well, the break in between movies isn't due to a lack of creativity or no stories to tell. No, the long hiatus is due to legal issues, studio concerns, and much more. Let's dive into what happened to the Friday the 13th franchise. In 1980, Friday the 13th slashed its way into theaters and ended up becoming a surprise hit, making nearly $60 million on a $500,000 budget. Many thought it was a knockoff of Halloween from 2 years earlier, but the surprise ending and delightful gore separated it from its peers. The film was directed by Sean Cunningham and written by Victor Miller. Those are two names that will become very important later on. Do not forget them. Soon after that 1980 hit, there was a new Friday the 13th movie released almost every year. He would join Freddy Krueger as the reigning king of 80s slashers. This went on till about 1993 when the alleged Final Friday happened and Jason finally went to hell. This was also the first time that New Line Cinema was handling the franchise after Paramount sold the character rights following the lackluster sales of Jason Takes Manhattan. Jason Goes to Hell the Final Friday did not do well at all and put any other film ideas on hold. Even the team-up movie with Freddy Krueger was stuck in developmental hell despite the wonderful tease at the end of the film. It would be 8 years until another solo Jason movie would happen, and this time going to space with Jason X. While not great, it reintroduced the character to audiences, even though they did try to change him up mid-movie. This Sci-Fi Channel reject didn't win anyone over and almost dampened the interest in the soon-to-be-released Freddy vs. Jason. This would be the last time we would see a solo Jason movie until the remake in 2009. Freddy vs. Jason came and went in 2003 with not much fanfare outside of the horror community. None of us did know that this would actually be the last time Freddy Krueger would be played by Robert Englund and the last time we had a Jason movie in the original timeline. After Freddy vs. Jason, the Friday the 13th franchise took a break until about 2009 when Sean S. Cunningham, remember that name? Remember how I told you not to forget him? Well, he has produced 4 movies and this remake, so he comes in and says, hey, let's reinvent this franchise a little bit. So Cunningham worked with a new team that consisted of Brad Fuller and Andrew Form to create the 2009 remake. While it didn't blow anyone away, it did well enough to warrant a sequel that would never come out. Soon after the movie, Fuller and Form announced that they wanted to do a follow-up, and it was slated for August 13th, 2010. Brad Fuller would go on to say that this 2010 version of the movie was dead, partially due to the economy at the time and partially due to studios feuding over portions of the movie rights. In 2011, Fuller announced that he was ready to begin production with a script, but New Line Cinema was not. Another break in talks about the franchise would happen until 2013 when Warner Brothers gave up the full rights to Paramount in a deal that would give them Interstellar. Who knew a space movie that wasn't Jason X would actually harm the franchise that much? Once Paramount got the rights to Friday the 13th, they said they were going forward with a new film, a reboot that would focus on a younger Jason and would feature his mother. That was something fresh at the times and fans were happy. The studio even had a release date of Friday, January 13th, 2017. The moment a director was in talks though, they pushed the movie back to October of 2017. In January of 2017, it was even said that they had a working title and they would start production in March. And then Rings came out. Yes, somehow a sequel to the movie The Ring hurt Friday the 13th. Paramount saw the really poor reception of Rings and said, hey, we're gonna put this on hiatus. How? How does one franchise that has nothing to do with Friday the 13th hurt another? Oh, Paramount. Thankfully, the rights were said to go from Paramount back to New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers in 2018, so fans were happy that this would mark a positive change for the brand. Who knew that this would actually end up being another massive hurdle? Around this time, Victor Miller, remember the guy I mentioned who wrote that first film? Well, he began issues with Horror Inc., the production company who was working on the franchise at the time. While all the issues with Paramount and New Line Cinema was happening, in 2016, Miller filed a notice of termination to Horror Inc. saying he was reclaiming rights to the franchise. Now that leads us to today. That legal battle is still going on, all of it over the adult rights to Jason, Oh, what'd you do, big guy? Last year in 2018, a judge ruled that Victor Miller was the sole owner of the original Friday the 13th screenplay, but the judge declined to make a ruling of who currently owned the character rights to adult Jason Voorhees, who of course did not appear in the franchise until the second film, a script that Miller did not work on. While the courts granted ownership rights to the original script to Victor Miller, entertainment lawyer Larry Zerner noted that the original director Sean Cunningham was moving forward with an appeal to this decision. This legit went all the way to the federal court in Connecticut, a long way from Jason's small beginnings at Camp Crystal Lake. All of this drama does tie up the Friday the 13th franchise from making another movie, with Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham feuding over the rights of adult Jason. No one knows what could happen, but there are some other developments happening here or there. We'll mention them right now. In October of 2018, it was reported that LeBron James and his company, Spring Hill Entertainment, were working to co-produce the next entry. I don't think he knew about the drama around the franchise at the time. Our latest and most major update comes from July 2019. Tom McLaughlin, writer and director of Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lived, revealed that he was actually authoring a spec script for a sequel titled Jason Never Dies. Ignoring all the drama with Sean Cunningham and Victor Miller, McLaughlin confirmed that this film would serve as a direct sequel to Jason Lives and will ignore all the other films in the franchise. Could he be the one that gets this made? Could he team up with LeBron James to get a Jason movie confirmed? This franchise is getting wilder and wilder, and there hasn't been a movie in a decade. All of this drama, and we still don't have any news on a new Friday the 13th film. At the time of making this video, I'm craving a new film in the Jason Voorhees franchise. This is one of our favorite slashers. Wouldn't you guys want to see it? At this point, I would like Blumhouse just to get the rights, screw all of this drama, and then go, hey, thank you. Much like they did with Halloween, and they have the upcoming Black Christmas remake to work on as well. I really think Blumhouse could be the one to squash all of this beef and take this franchise in a great new direction. From a small, humble slasher movie to federal court battles in Connecticut, that's what happened to the Friday the 13th franchise. What did you guys think of this video? What do you guys think of this concept? I would love to go through other Hollywood franchises and figure out what the hell happened. Going through and say, well, okay, was it legal battles, creative issues, crazy other box office drama? I would love to continue this. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up because YouTube takes those very seriously. Alright guys, let's talk about other franchises and what happened to Friday the 13th below.